Welcome back, everybody. Fresh Takes, Russo and Felice. I am Paul Russo, back for the first time in what feels like a while, but not really, admittedly. But I just miss him so much. Man myth, legend himself, Nick Felice. Nick, how you doing? How you feeling lately?
Yeah.
I know you're feeling a little under the weather last week, but
Yeah.
I know I saw you at the end of last week. You were doing much better, but
Yes.
how you feeling? How you doing?
Yeah, last Tuesday. Well, first of all, I just want to thank Pat for coming on and filling my spot last week. It was unexpected. I thought Paul was going to do a show by himself, but that was cool. We got Pat on.
Yeah, I was trying to. I don't necessarily mind doing it by myself if I got to. But that being said, there's only so much you can do by yourself.
Yeah.
And I did one by myself within the last month of shows. I know that. So
Yeah.
if Pat didn't come on, I was going to do it by myself, but it definitely would have probably only been like a half hour. Like I would have just been in and out. And
All right, enough talking about yourself.
my bad. That's right. I did ask you how you were doing.
Yeah, I'm feeling better. Last Tuesday was bad. I still went to that game in the rain, and I felt terrible. But back and healthy and better, and yeah, we got a good show on hand.
I was kind of admittedly surprised that they still sent you to that game in the wet the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, last Tuesday was
That was some storm.
last Tuesday for many of us in the area. Not to get too far off topic, but I know that we've had a couple super wet storms that to the point where there was water where I never really had seen it before in certain spots. So hopefully everybody's doing all right at this point. I know a couple people lost some stuff in basements and stuff like that. It was just tough to hear. So hopefully everybody's doing better at this point now that we're full week past that. But.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little liquid out there today, but it looks like it's gonna be sunny this next week or so. So
yeah, we're kind of on the outside of some lake effect apparently tonight. So.
yeah, Halloween's past us, so we're
Right, we're in turkey season.
On to turkey season. I know, Paul. This is a little
This is my time of year.
This is
this is my time of favorite holiday. We've been into that.
If
before.
you know Paul, and if you watch the show, you do, and it gets a little heated around this time of the year because of the people that skip over Thanksgiving and start preparing for Christmas.
So, yeah, obviously, but that's here nor there for the podcast today. NFL Week 8, College Football Week 9, plus we'll get into some like immediate college football playoff ranking reaction. Already have some controversy there. World Series going on right now as we speak, so we'll recap kind of quickly what's been going on there and the potential either final day, which would be today, or final days, which would be tomorrow. And then NASCAR Championship weekend this weekend in Phoenix, so we'll discuss that a little bit. So, anything else quick we need to touch on before?
Yeah,
we
it's
jump into anything?
it's crazy that you put World Series and November 2nd on the same screen.
Only the 7th World Series to make it to November ever, I believe, and all of them post 2000.
Really?
Yeah, obviously 2001 is one of the years, but that's obviously different because of the 9/11
I know.
attacks.
It's crazy.
Other than that, yeah, first one since I think 2017, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. But
It's crazy because winter meetings are like in a month, and they still got to finish the season.
well, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. I was going to save this for a potential later on pod that we could do when there's not much to talk about during a lull time, even in the winter months. But they quietly canceled the winter meetings this year.
Really?
Yeah,
they're not going to be.
It's not looking good for a non-lockout situation.
Lock them out.
Well, that's another thing. If you've listened to this long enough, you know exactly where the Knicks stand on those. We're on opposite end of the spectrum, but
Yeah.
except in the baseball. In the baseball, we actually kind of tend closer to the mean with each other, but
I don't want to talk about
yeah. Anyway, something we do want to talk about: Week 8 of NFL.
it. Ooh.
Certainly interesting storylines this week in the grand scheme of things, right? I don't want to start with the Bills. I don't want to really start with any maybe game in particular, but fantasy news, player news, right? Derrick Henry now more than likely out for the year. I know they kind of they were very vague at the end of it where it's like, he might be back for week 18.
Yeah, they don't know.
But it's not looking good. He had surgery, I believe it was yesterday, on his foot. It's unfortunate because Derrick Henry has been arguably the best running back in the league, really the past probably 2 or 3 years. When you actually look at it, not one of the flashy guys, obviously. He's not like a Zeke, not like a McCaffrey, not like a Barkley when he's healthy. But his numbers back him up. I mean, he has been the best fantasy running back for really the past 2 seasons. Was probably going to be the best fantasy running back this year. He was the only player to not have underdog odds to lead the league in rushing at the DraftKings Sportbook. So, yeah, I mean, it's certainly an unfortunate situation for fantasy owners, Tennessee fans, and really the Titans as a whole. Tennessee is now shaping up to be potentially the best team in the AFC, and now they'll be without their biggest key to the offense. So, Nick, I'll go to you. Obviously, you're big on the fantasy side of things here. So, fantasy-wise, how does that shake things up? And, playing-wise for you, how does that shake things out in your mind?
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah. I am a Derrick Henry owner, and it was devastating news to me. But yeah, I think he was because they were in talks with Henry this year about breaking the yards record because of an extra game this season. So there was high expectations for Derrick once again this year, and yeah, it's definitely disappointing to hear that. Titans, if they do make a run, they might get them back, by the Super Bowl. But for fantasy owners, it's over. It's definitely over for you. He's not coming back. Just had surgery. It's surprising because I've had lots of conversations about Henry, and always the one thing he brought up is like, this guy's never going to get hurt. He's too tough. He's too big. How in the world can he get hurt? And he got hurt in like the first quarter of last game, and he still played. He wasn't as effective, obviously, but he still played, and that just shows you how tough of a guy he is. So this is a big loss. This is a tough AFC. I think you definitely, in my opinion, you take the Titans out of the conversation now in the AFC.
I'm not too sure if you do that quite yet, but we'll circle back.
But because of Henry out of the lineup. But yeah, I would take the Titans out of the conversation now because of this.
Okay. I disagree a little bit. I mean, I'll kind of touch on that reason now.
You can go Stephen A. on me.
Yeah, sure, why not? Clearly, and I don't mean this as a knock on your Giants. They are a team that I thought would be with Washington contending for the NFC East. I thought both of them were better than they are on paper. Stuff happens. I mean, you want to harp on a guy. People want to harp on Daniel Jones, but he's actually been one of the top 10 quarterbacks this year. Statistically, does not have a awful turnover ratio or anything like that. But I mean, the Giants were in that game against the Chiefs. Chiefs aren't pulling ahead of anybody. They aren't playing good football. The knocks keep coming for instance, the Raiders. Obviously, what happened with Ruggs today, really last night. He's likely done for his career.
It's rough season.
I don't mean to put that in a joking fashion. It just is what it is in that realm.
Rough season for the Raiders.
I mean, yeah, obviously the other stuff going on there. The Chargers are starting to show some signs where they might be falling short, but I mean, I still think they're probably the best option out of West. For
inconsistency,
instance, right? And the North is shaping up to be them just beating up on each other. And to be quite frank, the AFC South, it's not a cakewalk. I mean, the Colts will play them tough. They did this past weekend. But for as much as I talk about how much they've been improving, the Jaguars are still going to be the Jaguars, right? And the Texans are going to be the Texans. I just think things are shaping up kind of nicely for Tennessee. But you bring up a good point in this regard. You didn't mention any names, but obviously McNichols is not going to. He's got good talent in the passing game. He's not going to be able to run. They bring in Adrian Peterson.
You like that move?
Yeah, I mean, personally speaking, I don't know if they really had too much options. Today was trade deadline day in the NFL. Obviously, you did have one big name actually move during today. Well, really yesterday, Von Miller. But I mean, the NFL deadline was kind of typical NFL deadline type thing. But that being said, you could have made a phone call to probably somebody. I mean, I don't know. Top of my head wise, I don't know if really, like, for instance, the Bears are a good option. Their running backs are kind of young. They want to work on them and develop them more. You had an option in division. I mean, the Colts didn't want to unload Marlon Mack for the right price. Marlon Mack, under 5 years ago, was a top 5 running back in the league. I mean, there are other options out there. I mean, to get a pure running back, they probably did the best option, which was get AP. Has played, obviously, the past 3 years in full capacity. I'm guessing he wasn't just sitting on the couch during this season. No. So they probably did the right move overall in just bringing in a guy who also is going to be a very good veteran presence, in all honesty, for a team that, like I said, they're in contention. You're more so writing them off than I am, but it's a good veteran presence to bring into a locker room that's going to need it now. Obviously, bring up, I talked about the Giants, but the Jets upset the Bengals, knocked out a lot of people on a lot of
I heard one was you.
Survivor pools. I was one of them.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, interesting game. I still don't know who the Jets quarterback is, or whatever is it, Matt Davis or White, or I don't even know, or Mike White.
Cooper Rush.
It was definitely a weekend of revenge of the backup quarterback feel. Prime example is being, the upset win for the Jets and the Bengals.
Yeah, definitely it's shocking, but it's not shocking. It just proves that the Bengals aren't ready for the big time yet. I'm starting to think the Chargers aren't ready for the big time yet either. So, this Jets, I like Robert Saleh. I like him as a head coach. I just thought, the cursed Jets franchise might hurt his chances. But I don't know, that Michael Carter, nice young little running back that got there. Zach Wilson's out right now, but, they got a nice little young team. I was high on them in the pregame show. I thought they might have, contended a little bit better for the division, but I think they're in a better spot than the Miami Dolphins right now. And like I said, it's a tough AFC. Obviously, there's not going to be a playoff team with this Jets team this year, but it's nice to beat a Bengals team that a lot of people are high on. A lot of people are high as the team to beat in the North. Now I think it's the Ravens again. The Steelers have come around. The Browns are still there. That's an interesting North. Like you said, they're going to beat up on each other, that North. Don't know if they compare to... I don't know who the best team is. The AFC is tough to decide who the best team is.
Right.
You could say Buffalo. I won't say it, but...
I mean, I don't know. I think it's hard to catch.
You can't say the Chiefs right now.
Definitely not the Chiefs. I mean, to me, I still feel like it's probably kind of a toss-up between the Chargers, Bills, and probably Ravens at this point. I want to throw in the Titans, kind of.
I was going to throw in the Titans, but I'm not without Henry.
I mean,
I'm not doing it.
I mean, it's tough when you say against the other teams, like my argument, but I still think if things fall right for the Titans, they'll be fine. But I mean, I still think they're probably below Chargers and the Bills and probably the Ravens.
What about your Browns?
Yeah, that was an interesting game to watch. I know you were at work, but watching Red Zone with Matt. Yeah, I don't know.
They're deep on running backs, though.
Yeah.
They are very deep.
They are deep on the running back.
That Johnson guy could play somewhere.
Yeah.
That Tennessee should have gone for him.
Wow. They were going to move up. Not until Kareem Hunt comes back.
Yeah. They didn't have much time to do anything, but...
it was a big win for Buffalo, though, in the end.
Yes, it was a huge win for Buffalo. Miami, man, they are definitely one of the more disappointing teams this season. That's for sure. But Buffalo, it's got to be Josh Allen because, I don't know, in my opinion on paper, they're not that good, Buffalo. I'm not a huge Cole Beasley fan. Emmanuel Sanders, stick to your Schitt's Creek. Not high on him either, but Josh Allen's making it work. Stephon Diggs is good. That Knox has been good. Their defense is strong. They got a great head coach. They're better than I thought. But if Buffalo and Dallas ever go to the Super Bowl, I will find whatever else is on TV. I'm not sure what's on.
You're lying in that regard.
Not lying. I will not watch the Super Bowl if it's Dallas Buffalo. I'm dead serious. I will not watch the Super Bowl if it's Dallas and Buffalo.
You're such a liar.
I hope it happens just to see what I do.
You're such a liar.
It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna be no Buffalo and Dallas in the Super Bowl. But that would be a nightmare for me. But Buffalo's better than I thought.
Yeah.
I still root for the Chargers, but they disappointed me on Sunday losing to the Patriots because it's not. I have the ESPN Last Man Standing. I picked the Chargers this week, and I'm done out of that. But that was disappointing.
I can't believe you and Matt backed in. Look, I know last week I was high on Jacksonville. I definitely thought that was a trap game type scenario, but the fact that you backed in with Seattle in our mutual one is just absurdly. And look,
that was all Matt.
I know. Props to you. I mean, Matt's riding the homer on that one. The fact that he trusted Geno Smith makes me question pretty much everything in our friendship. So.
And you didn't trust the Jets quarterback.
Why would I? Why would I trust anything? Hold on. Why would I trust anything Jets related? We can spend a minute on this. Why would I trust anything Jets related? In our lifetimes, Nick, you want to know what the main thing the Jets are known for? There are two things the Jets are known for in our lifetime. Two. Okay? And one of them really kind of outdates our lifetime, in all fairness. One is white wide receiver Wayne Kravett. Okay? And two is butt fumble.
I was going to say butt fumble and can't wait.
Okay, fair. I'll can't wait. 3, 5. Prediction time.
All right.
Oddly enough, we're starting with the Jets because they play Thursday night against the Colts.
Ooh.
What do you got?
I'm going to go with the Colts here.
Yeah, I'm going Colts as well.
I don't think Jets can win 2 in a row at all this season.
No. This is pretty much a must-win scenario for the Colts, I'd say.
But the Titans also lost to the Jets this season, so
That's true. Maybe we're misreading the Jets.
I think so.
Sunday at 1:00, the Raiders come to the Meadowlands to play the Giants.
Got a lot going on with the Raiders right now.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Giants in this game.
Yeah, I think this is more of a toss-up than people think. Obviously, the stuff going on with Henry Ruggs, but you still have a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes with the Gruden fallout. That being said, back-to-back weeks, right? Is it back-to-back weeks the Raiders are coming to the East Coast?
They were on a bye last week.
Oh, they were on the bye last week. Well, yeah, de facto game-wise, it's back-to-back weeks on the East Coast. I'm with you, though. Then we'll go with the Giants here.
Okay. I like it.
Bills get a nice Florida vacation against Jacksonville, heading south.
Buffalo wins.
Yeah. Buffalo does win. Good job, Nick. All right. Falcons travel to the Superdome to play the Saints. Yet to be seen if it will be Trevor Siemian or quarterback to be named later for New Orleans.
What do you like in this?
So, I think, here's the thing. Trevor Siemian did win ball games as a starter for Denver.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very serviceable quarterback. I think he kind of breaks that backup plane, but still kind of sits bottom third-wise, like starting quarterback-wise. That being said, he played extremely well against the Buccaneers when he came in. I'm going to go with the Saints.
Why, Paul?
I literally just said I'm not going to go back into it. I just can't.
I am not going with
that, and I'm very intrigued to see how well Matt Ryan's hand heals up.
Matt Ryan's fine. It was nice that they beat the Bucks last week.
It was not fake blood.
It was a nice win for the Saints last week against the Bucks,
right.
but they are not winning 2 in a row with Trevor Siemian.
All right.
You said this is at Atlanta, right?
Huh?
Is this at Atlanta?
This is in New Orleans.
I'm sticking with the pick. I'm going with the Falcons. They're going to beat the Saints this week.
All right.
Yeah, they're going to beat the Saints this week.
All right. Very much so redemption games in the battle for Ohio. Cleveland heads to Cincinnati.
This is a top 5 interleague matchup in MLB.
Yeah. What?
Cleveland versus Cincinnati.
Okay.
Don't you know your rivalries in the league? Come on. And but it's hard to believe this is a rivalry.
Sorry, if people are wondering, I got the World Series Gamecast on my phone going on. We got Atlanta in scoring position again.
Let's score.
3-0 Atlanta, top 5.
Could be over.
Yeah.
In this game, though,
we have to get through this so we can preview it before we.
Yeah, we have an off-season preview at the end of this. Where's this game?
In Cincinnati. Pay attention, Nick. We actually probably should rapid fire these predictions.
I got the Bengals.
Okay. Yeah, this is going to be, in my mind, one of Cincinnati's truer tests on the year. Obviously, coming off a game that you should have definitely have won on paper, and against a team that it will be playing pretty pissed off, to be quite frank. I'm going to go Browns. Usually the younger quarterbacks kind of fail that first style of test, so I'm going to go Browns, but certainly a toss-up, certainly a game I don't think I would want to bet.
Certainly shouldn't be at 1 o'clock.
Yes. Also 1 o'clock, Patriots at the Panthers.
I'm going Patriots.
Another situation where we don't know the quarterback situation for Carolina.
I'm going Patriots here.
I'm going to go Patriots as well.
Panthers are falling apart.
Minnesota at Baltimore.
I'm going Baltimore.
Same. Baltimore.
Lamar Jackson.
Yep. Broncos at the Cowboys 1 o'clock window still.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, this is interesting.
Going Cowboys.
I don't. God, this is one of those. Definitely, if Von Miller was still there, I'd feel a lot more confident taking Denver. I don't feel like Cooper Rush.
I don't like him on the road.
Oh, I don't feel like Cooper Rush would be able to repeat what he did against Minnesota. But I mean, against a team that's lost its identity, its identifiable leader. Yeah, take the Cowboys here. Still in the 1 o'clock window, last game of that, Houston at Miami.
Wow, this is a good one.
Yeah, no. I'm taking Miami. I'm just leaving it in just pick a team so we can move on.
This is the one they'll show on Red Zone 3 times in your afternoon.
Or it's one of those weird ones that he becomes obsessed with, like the Bears in San Fran this past week.
I think Miami finally gets a win this week.
All right. For the only technical 405 game, Chargers at the Eagles.
Going Chargers with a bounce back.
Yeah, I'm on Chargers as well, but again, that's going to be a really close game, I think. They're coming east.
Chargers always been known not to be good East Coast teams, or playing East Coast teams.
425 Cardinals at the 49ers. Kyler Murray questionable.
Ooh.
They're taking him as a week-to-week type situation, so it's interesting.
I think
there.
I would judge someone as questionable.
Colt McCoy would be the starting quarterback, I believe.
You're questionable if you ever take that Niners team.
Well, call me questionable. I'm taking the Niners.
I'm taking the Cardinals.
All right. 425 Packers at the Chiefs.
Well, this would be a big game. It still is a big game.
Yep.
Mahomes is still there.
This
Rodgers
would be the big turnaround game for them if they were to be able to do it.
Yeah. This is the big State Farm game.
Oh, that's right, it is.
I'm going to go with Jake from State Farm. I'm a big fan of ketchup. a huge fan of cheese, so I'm going to go ketchup. I'm going to go
You're such a liar, dude. Like,
Kansas City
I see you
cheese.
house cheese products like daily.
I would eat ketchup before cheese.
I'm going Packers.
Going Chiefs. They're going to get a
Packers
big win
should,
this week.
Packers should have all their wideouts back, I believe. So.
Don't care.
Sunday night, Titans at Rams. Sunday night football.
Titans at
Yep,
Rams.
I'm going Rams.
Going Rams. The Titans are going to decline, Paul.
And
Decline.
Then
Still might win the
Monday,
division.
and then about one of the worst Monday nights games ever, Bears at Steelers.
That's not one of the worst.
It's about one of the worst.
Okay, yeah, I used the word about. Good. Who is it?
Bears at Steelers.
Yeah, I'm going Steelers at home.
Same. All right, let's move on to college football here.
Yeah, how about those first rankings?
So we'll discuss a couple of the other teams here quickly before we get right into it. Notre Dame, nice little win. They were able to keep UNC at arm's length pretty much the whole game. Would have liked to have had a little bit more defensively from the Irish.
Did you win that parlay?
But yes, I did.
Okay.
But if you're a Notre Dame fan, you love this game because the offense showed out very well, did their deal, and pretty much was the reason why you were able to keep UNC at arm's length. Syracuse, big win over Boston College, and a little bit closer to
You were there?
being a bowl eligible team. I was there. Good win. Poorly executed game first half. I think you could kind of put some blame on the players on that one, for sure, blame on the coaches. But second half, really great game overall at that point. Was able to shut out Boston College post third quarter on, or post second quarter on. So the defense has been a really strong unit this whole year. Offense is coming around. And then I stayed up for the madness in Provo, Utah, between BYU and Virginia. That game was wild.
What did it end up?
66-49 BYU won. Absolute chaos. Just one of those classic late night West Coast games. But it was fun. It was fun. So anything before we kind of jump into the college football playoff stuff for you?
No.
Any hot takes for Notre Dame, or are you good? You good for the week?
What do we ranked? What do we get ranked?
Well, Notre Dame currently sits 8th in the AP.
Does the college football playoff tonight?
They already announced it.
What are they?
All right, so let me get that back typed in. I accidentally closed out the window.
Dino trying to keep his job?
Well, this game certainly helped. I think if you ask most people, he's probably did. He probably has been able to do that at this point. I don't know. I don't know. I think if they for sure lock up a bowl, he's coming back at this point. Is it deserved? I mean, in theory, probably. It's just tough, some of the decisions he's made, to acknowledge that he has the capability of, when, at this point, better players come in. Oh, Atlanta got 2 runs. All right, neat. Got 2 more. I mean, what's nice about the Syracuse team is they're overall they're hyper young, and they're gonna only get better in theory. So I'll take it, I guess.
Let's hear these rankings.
Okay. You didn't really give me a fully good enough time, but it is what it is.
Live
All
TV.
right. Nick, you asked about Notre Dame. They're number 8 in the AP, but the College Football Playoff Committee has them 10th. So your top 4. Georgia at number 1. Alabama 2. Michigan State 3. Oregon 4.
Wow. Where is Cincinnati?
They're 6. Ohio State is 5th.
Oh, wow.
Michigan 7th. Oklahoma 8th. Wake Forest 9th. And Notre Dame 10th. This has got to be, the wackiest opening whatever, especially after what the director of the playoffs said about respecting Cincinnati but they've only put them 6.
That's disappointing. They just don't want to.
I have a lot of problem with just the top 4 as a whole.
Georgia, not 1.
Georgia is number 1. Alabama is 2. Michigan State, I think, is going to get blown out by Ohio State when they face off. Michigan State's good. I think they're better than Michigan.
They proved it.
You know, if I had to just rank the Big Ten teams outright, Ohio State, Michigan State, probably Penn State, and then Michigan. In all honesty, I kind of want to put like...
Who's 8, you say?
8 is Oklahoma. And that's the other one where, look, I get they've had some pretty rough games here over the course of the past 3 weeks. Like, I get that. But to have Oregon above them in any capacity, whether in the playoff or not, is just absurd to me. And it's just absurd to me how they have Cincinnati out of the playoff at this point. To me, what that tells me is, you know, obviously if you look at the quick reactions, I mean, everybody's in agreement. The only way you're going to get a group of 5 now is if they expand. Because if they're not willing to respect, especially the Cincinnati team that they have this year, and put them in, then it is what it is. I mean, it's something, you know, something that I know that's the reason why you're not big on college football for. And I don't blame you, but it's the one thing really with me that, you know, I don't like about college football, admittedly, is just that, you know, I don't necessarily maybe agree with your take about how it's the same teams over and over again exactly, but... You know, it's situations like these that, you know, my argument that I have, I can't fall back on. Where it's, you know, you never know year in and year out truly what could happen. You never know if one of these teams just quickly rises up.
You're upset. You seem upset.
Yeah, I'm a bit peeved by this.
'Cause that's ridiculous.
It's tough.
The AP had him what, 2?
Hmm?
AP had him 2?
The Associated Press has Cincinnati at 2. Yeah. So, I mean, look, I don't know what they got to do at this point. I don't know what they got to do at this point. There's nothing there's nothing in theory they're going to be able to do at this point.
Oregon loses Stanford?
Yeah.
How are they behind them?
Yeah, Yeah, and I mean they've been. Look, Mario Cristobal. And this part is not like a player reflective whatever, but head coach of Oregon, Mario Cristobal, is only 500 on the road in Pac-12 play. Like, he does not have the guys prepped for games on the road well, clearly, and they're going to be going into a tough environment in Washington this week with the amount of trash talk already going on. So,
what does Wake Forest have to do to get in?
As good as they are, they really do have to be better. I think this is probably maybe more for the Syracuse side of the argument than anything else, but they weren't able to really fend off Syracuse all that well. Like, it took Syracuse coaching-wise shooting itself in the foot.
Like,
to
as a
pretty
Notre
much
Dame
lose
fan,
that game.
as a Notre Dame fan at 10,
Yeah.
seems like a huge gap
Right.
from 8 to 9.
Right.
It seems like there's 8 teams. That's all that matters.
Sorry, I had to get a quick sip of water.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
I'm out here dying.
I think there's 8 teams left.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, if you're going to make a case that it's not, I mean, Notre Dame is the case. They're kind of singing the catbird seat of really, if it hits the fan down here in the final 4 weeks of play. So yeah, it's tough. I mean, I don't get how, for instance, if you want to take a look really deep in the standings, for instance, in this situation, they have Minnesota above Iowa. I mean, mind you, it's 20 and 22 at that point, but like, Iowa's the better team out of the two. I mean, they just are.
Yeah.
I think the way they did these standings, I mean, at the top they did what they usually do. And at the bottom, they kind of just did, we'll just put whoever we think is hot or above. I don't know.
Yeah, that's how it always goes.
Yeah. Like, BYU, and this isn't a knock, I mean, BYU's win against Virginia was impressive for a multitude of reasons. Like, they have BYU sitting 15th in the playoff ranking after being 25th in the AP last week. And I think they are only... Yeah, BYU is now 17th in the AP. So the AP didn't jump them as high as the playoff did in theory. I don't know. Again, it goes back to how they should have done 8 in the first place, but it's just money grabbing, and that's what they're doing again anyway. It is what it is.
That sucks for Cincinnati.
We'll touch on the major-ish games this week. Cincinnati is hosting game day this week against Tulsa. Interesting play. I disagree with the selection in theory. I think they're probably trying to save game day for Ohio State, Michigan, or perhaps another trip to, I believe, one of the SEC schools. Like Auburn A&M is a ranked matchup this week at 12 and 13, and they're not going there.
I think they're just focused on teams that are in contention.
Right. And that's not a knock. I mean, personally speaking, and I still would have done this game in all honesty. Whatever be damned. But UTSA and UTEP's going to be one hell of a game on Saturday night. And UTEP went down to the wire with FAU. And if they won that game, they probably would have been ranked in the AP poll. And UTSA 16th in the AP and not ranked in the college football playoff. Wow. So, but yeah, I mean, other really than like that head-to-head matchup like that, there's really no head-to-head, again, ranked matchups this week. Really, I guess the only other like super main one that probably jumps out at you would probably be Ohio State on the road at Nebraska. And even then, that's probably just going to be a massacre and a half. Anything really for you mainly going to college this week?
Just disappointed.
Notre Dame has Navy this week, so.
It's a big game. As always. Syracuse on their idol.
Syracuse has their bye this week, yep. Which is big for them. Big stretch run coming up, so they need it.
What's the record?
5-4.
One more.
Yeah, one more. Certainly attainable.
They got it.
Pitt's exactly the team that I thought they were, so. All right, World Series going on right now. It is currently 6-0, top of the fifth. Braves have opened it up here in the top of the fifth inning. So I'm going to pull this up really quick for everybody. Dansby Swanson hit a 2-run home run in this inning, and then Freddie Freeman had an RBI double. Jorge Soler, I don't know if anybody listening or watching live anyway, I know if you listen after the fact, you'll definitely know about Soler's home run. Absolutely killed the ball into the night in Houston. So it's sitting 6-0 top 5 right now. Atlanta, that game in Houston. Phil Maton in the game pitching for Houston now. I mean, what have your impressions been for? I've thought it's been a pretty fun World Series. I know for you it's just tough to watch. I can't blame you. That's a lot of people are like that. But it's interesting because the supposed worldwide leader in sport with Sports Center hasn't said on their Instagram feed a single thing about the World Series. In fact, their only baseball-related posts the past 2 weeks have been about the Dodgers being eliminated. They've had more Squid Game content on their Instagram since then. But what are your takes so far? Because in my mind, it's been a fun World Series. Been a really unique World Series. Really, the starting pitching for both teams. I mean, really the only, for instance, true starter, if you want to call it that at this point, Max Fried remains for Atlanta. Charlie Morton got hurt. Really, they're kind of using Ian Anderson in this like elongated role. And then Houston's just kind of like the only true star that they really use, and even then, I don't think they plan on having it be this way. Has been Zach Greinke. So
yeah,
it's been a really weird, it's been an interesting World Series to the point where, in my mind, World Series MVP is probably Tyler Matzak at the moment. But I mean, who knows really what happens here post fact?
Well, you're gonna find out pretty soon.
Yeah,
it's not surprising.
More than likely.
It's not surprising about ESPN. They're very biased to the sports they're allowed to cover more. They get baseball games, but they get one playoff game. it's not surprising that they are huge with the NBA and college football and these other sports over teams like, sports like baseball and college basketball. They don't get one playoff game in college basketball. They get the NIT. They get the championships in college football and NBA. That's why they're very biased to the sports that they are allowed to cover. But anyway, about the World Series, it's amazing this Braves that they're going to win the World Series tonight. It's amazing what they've gone through, to lose Acuna Jr. back in, middle of the season sometime.
Pretty much.
And then to lose Morton at the start of the series, and they just keep losing people and don't matter. They're out to win something this year, and you look at it, you think about it all the time. It's like you look at the Braves team, you didn't expect them to be in the World Series. But here they are. And you think of it as like, oh, they probably should win this time. They're not like the Royals and the Rangers that got second chances. Royals were able to secure their second chance. Rangers were not. But your team's like, they're there. You got to win it now or you might not get another chance.
Right.
The Braves, I don't think, are in that case. And they're going to win it this year. I don't think
they're kind of an interesting window, but yeah.
They got a lot of young talent on that team that can contend for multiple years. They can win multiple championships. But yeah, it's nice to see a team like that win, and not like the Dodgers, or no offense, the Yankees, or the cheating Astros, or the Red Sox. It's nice to see a team like the Braves win, especially Freddie Freeman, good guy.
Who's a free agent at the end of the year,
and championship might go somewhere. Like Anthony Rendon. But I don't know. It's intriguing. Happy for the Braves. I don't have hatred towards the Braves. I wasn't around in the early 90s when the Pirates played them all the time. But
Sid Bream.
Yeah. So I don't have any hatred towards the Braves. But,
I'm not going to lie, but I feel like if your dad hears me say Sid Bream, I might get stabbed.
Yeah, he probably don't like him. But I think he doesn't like the closer more, the one they brought in to pitch. I had it at the tip of my tongue. Whoever the closer was that blew that game, pitched that game.
Tim Wakefield.
No. But whoever it was, the closer for the Pirates, blew it to Sid Bream there. I think he hates him more. But, yeah, it should be interesting. It's always cool. Like I said at the beginning of the show, it's cool to watch the World Series in November. But
I see what you did there, too. Cool. November.
Didn't mean it, but you better enjoy this game.
Max Fried's still on the bump, by the way.
You better enjoy that game because you're going to be sweating out this offseason if you'll see a game anytime in the near future.
Yeah, it's not looking promising in that realm. So, yeah, we'll do this quick prediction portion of it. It's looking very
easy to predict.
Yeah. Atlanta in 6. Look, the Trevor Plouffe saga continues.
I will say Atlanta 6, but there's something about Game 7 of the World Series that's crazy.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
It's just, you don't know what they're going to do. I always look forward to that. I do look forward to that. You don't know who's going to pitch. You don't know who's going to play. I don't know. I'd love to see it, but it's not.
I know what you mean. All right, we'll move on quickly, cap off the show.
Who's in the Final Four?
Yeah, NASCAR Championship weekend. All 3 National Touring Series heading to the Diamond in the Desert, Phoenix Raceway for one final go-around championship. On the line, we'll go tier by tier and work up to the Cup Series. Truck Series Final 4. Zane Smith, Ben Rhodes, Matt Crafton, John Hunter, Nemechek. Trucks have been absolute chaos the past few weeks, for them anyway, when they've run. Zane Smith knocked out Sheldon Creed, defending champion, by winning.
What happened to Austin Hill?
Austin Hill got knocked out round 1, unfortunately. A couple blown engines and a wreck. Austin Hill moving up and Sheldon Creed moving up to Xfinity next year. They're going to be teammates at RCR next year.
Nice. What about Nemechek?
But that's next year. Nemechek staying with Kyle Busch next year, Kyle Busch Motorsports. I mean, he's been the best driver all year in the Truck Series. 5 wins, 12 top 5s. Easily have been the most probably consistent overall in that regard.
Is it whoever finishes top wins?
Whoever finishes the best out of the 4. Doesn't necessarily have to be a win.
Is that the case for all 3 races?
That's the case for all 3. So trucks have been interesting to me. Like I've said this over and over again, they're always usually my favorite series to watch on a given weekend for the most part. I'm gonna take the obvious pick here. I'm gonna go John Hunter Nemechek. Look, was in the Cup Series last year. Ended up going back down the trucks to more or less win again and prove himself again. That he can do it. I think this sets up perfectly for not a final redemption arc type deal. Obviously, he's coming back next year. Really, probably next year will be his last year full time in the truck, would be my guess. And then he's either up at Xfinity or Cup again with a Toyota back team. In that realm, the Xfinity Series, fun to watch all year. Your Final Four there: AJ Allmendinger, Daniel Hemrick, Austin Cindric, Noah Gragson. 4 extremely unique storylines in this series with that. AJ Allmendinger and Austin Cindric, 5 wins each. Cindric has 21 top 5s. Allmendinger has 18. Noah Gragson, 3 wins on the year, 13 top 5s. Has been very inconsistent though. But a walk-off win last week at Martinsville to get in Championship 4. Knocked out Justin Allgaier that way. But Daniel Hemrick is quite the interesting storyline here. Has never won a race in the top echelon series of NASCAR. Cup, Xfinity, or Truck. Here he is sitting Championship 4. What a story would be for him to win Phoenix, his first career win, and have it be for his first career championship.
What happened to Ty Gibbs?
He only was a part-time driver this year. So full-time next year. Don't you worry over there. Look, part of me really absolutely wants Hemrick. Hemrick's one of my favorite drivers, kind of overall, but so is the guy who I think is going to win the title this year, in AJ Allmendinger. First off, drives a great car number in car number 16, but he's had a very fun and interesting career. This guy who's won in IndyCar, won in NASCAR, has had very low lows in his career, but has rebounded to the highest of highs. So I think it'd be a really cool story there. That and he's really part of like a true independent team to a degree. In that with Colleague Racing, they do get children's support to a degree, but I mean this is a team that pretty much was started from the ground up only 5 years ago. So to be where they are at this point, pretty incredible in a short amount of time. And they're going Cup racing next year as well, so be perfect for that. And then obviously the main guys, the Cup Series guys, your Final Four there, pretty much kind of what I think a lot of people kind of predicted. I think Brad might have snuck in, but Blaney was one of the bigger surprises to get knocked out last round. Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, your Final Four. For the Cup, boy, I have a hard time thinking it won't be Kyle Larson, but part of me thinks Chase Elliott.
No.
I think it'll be one of the two, but I think this is Larson's year.
He has to win.
Has been so good all year. What's interesting, though, is the best car at this style of track and horsepower and engineering package that they've come to all year that they will be running at Phoenix has been Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin has been the quickest car on these tracks, has led the most laps. He's not had the most wins on these styles, but has led the most laps, has the best average finish, best speed.
Are they all in Phoenix?
All in Phoenix. So will this be the Denny's year? I don't know, but I'm going to go Larson there. It seems obvious. So. Nick, I know you kind of get drug into the NASCAR by proxy sometimes on the Sundays.
I'm
when
a
over
fan.
Yeah, but not like, whatever. So I guess really, kind of like, thoughts on maybe the NASCAR as a whole on the year. A lot of interesting storylines occurred throughout the season, and I'm not saying give us a Truck and Xfinity prediction, but certainly give us your
I'll
prediction.
give you a Truck and Xfinity.
Okay, I was going to say, but certainly give us the Cup prediction for you that you have for Sunday.
Well, it was nice to have a full NASCAR season. Definitely good after what happened last year with all COVID and everything, so it was kind of a weird season.
It was. Can't confirm.
I am not stealing Paul's answers. He just stole my answers. Who's going to win? That Nemechek guy, I remember being at Watkins, and the guy asked him, is your championship to lose? And he didn't sound like he was disagreeing. I got Nemechek winning the truck. AJ Allmendigger's the GOAT, and he's gonna win the Xfinity. And how can you not pick against Kyle Larson? It's kind of bogus that he can't finish top 5 and secure the championship. He's had so many wins this season. He's gonna beat him, and I got Kyle Larson winning the NASCAR championship as well. But it would be cool to see Chase Elliott win. That's your Jeff Gordon guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your boy. And Bubba should definitely be here. He is there, but
thank you.
He should be in the conversation. Someday he will be. And for right now, Kyle Larson's gonna win it. Would be shocked if anyone else did.
All right. There you have it. NASCAR expert Nick Felice.
Yes, thank you. Young Ricky Craven.
Yep. What a name. Oh. All right, that's a different discussion, different podcast.
Young Rusty Wallace.
Oh, Johnny Benson. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in, listening, whether it was live just now with us or after the fact. Braves shut down the Astros in order, 1-2-3, so 6-0 top 6.
We will be here to the end of that game.
Yeah, no, we won't be. Thanks as always for tuning in. Appreciate all the support and everything like that. Nick, who are you shouting out this week? You're backed up on shout-outs, so.
Huh?
You're backed up.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say college basketball season starts next Tuesday. Looking forward to that. Syracuse.
So we'll obviously preview some college basketball next week.
2-0 in the preseason.
Yep.
How about that?
Big wins.
But my shout out it's tended to become birthday shout outs a lot lately.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna shout out my Uncle Jay. It was his birthday on Halloween the other day.
I don't want to be that guy, but there was another birthday in the family.
On Halloween.
It wasn't on Halloween, but I mean,
Oh, my brother Matt?
Well, no.
Whose birthday was it?
I believe it was one of the Kiefer children's birthdays.
Oh, yeah. Kelsey Kiefer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was her birthday. Haven't met her yet, so maybe I'll meet her, but I'll shout out Kelsey as well. She is the granddaughter of Uncle Jay, who I just shout out. How about that connection there? Shout out Uncle Jay.
That's why I did it that way.
Shout out
things awkward.
Shout out Uncle Jay. Shout out Kelsey. Happy birthdays. And I'll see you later.
Okay, bye, Nick. No wave, no nothing. There you go. As always, like, share, subscribe, all the fun stuff. Help us out, help FL1 out. We will see you next Tuesday. Preview some college hoops, other stuff too, football, all the fun stuff. So until then, we'll see you later.